Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. As you're aware, we're in the midst of a whopping big election season. I say we're in the middle. We're sort of really at the front end of it. The county primary is going to be on May the 1st, so a couple of weeks away. All the county offices are up. The ballot is a whopping one, and you're going to need to be patient and pay attention. And you really need to try to look at a ballot before you get to the election booth. Early voting has already started, and you can do that either at the County Administrative Plaza or at CD Stamps here in Tullahoma. A couple of weeks ago, we had the Democratic candidates on, and today we're going to talk to the two Republican candidates, and that is on my immediate left, Mark Allen, who is the challenger for the county mayor's office. And next to him, Gary Cordell, who's already occupying that chair and has been for how long, Gary?
Almost 4 years.
4? Is this the first term?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And he's running again. So, I want to thank you gentlemen for taking time to join us and share your views with the audience. And let's take a short commercial break and we'll come right back and get into it.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Mark Allen, candidate for Coffee County Mayor. I am a husband, father, and public servant, and not a politician. I have been a government auditor, finance director, and small business owner for over 35 years, and I know numbers. I've seen the numbers for Coffee County, and I see a mess without vision or direction for the future. We have a high debt of $84 million with infrastructure wearing out before it's paid for. County employees not being paid a livable wage, and one of the highest property taxes in the state. What are we getting for our money? It's mismanagement at best. We need real change. The status quo is unacceptable. Vote Mark Allen on May 1st in the Coffee County Republican primary, and let's hold Coffee County accountable again. To the citizens of Tullahoma, Coffee County is your county. Get out and vote. No matter who you vote for, show the politicians it's your county too.
I should have mentioned, folks, that one of our candidates, who you just saw the commercial on, Mark Allen, that's, of course, a paid commercial, so it's available to anybody who wants to step forward and pay for the time. Well, let's start. Mark, I guess you just sort of reviewed it in your ad, but briefly tell the folks again, how come you're running?
Hi, I'm Mark Allen. The reason I'm running is simple. Failure to address our problems and take action against those problems. As you saw in the commercial, the debt of Coffee County is $84 million. It is only reduced by $500,000 over a 4-year period. That number comes from our state audit report. You've heard many people talk about $74 million. The actual debt from the audit report is $84,442,304. Now that does include debt for health insurance on the teacher's retirement. It's almost $9 million. all our problems need to be addressed, which Coffee County has many. We must take action on our problems, not ignore them, and definitely not use smoke and mirrors to minimize those problems.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Gary, you've already experienced one run at it. Why are you running again?
Tom, 4 years ago I made an 8-year commitment to the county to serve our county with honor and integrity, to give 100%, and to do what we can to try to have no more tax increases and to reduce our debt. We're in the process of doing that. You can't believe in the system how accountable our people are being held to and what standards are being held to. We have implemented internal controls, and I would mention that our county debt is, when I inherited this office, this position, was almost $80 million, and as of June 30th this year will be down to about $71 million. That's in our records. Sometimes we can use figures to...
That's the debt?
Yes, sir, county debt.
Yeah, we've got two different numbers.
Right, we got two different numbers. But we are in the process of managing debt and holding our people accountable. I'm in the process now. We're going into our budget season. I reviewed the debts by department, and our budget finance director are and have been reviewing those. And budget finance is starting that process of reviewing that. We do have an extremely good budget and finance group of 5 commissioners. The chairman of that is a CPA by profession, and he's been the CEO of a bank for several years.
And he's retiring.
And he's retiring. But I'm serious in that when you come and go through some of those sessions, we're going through every department and trying to hold our budgets in line and in check. And of course the school system, they submit their own budget. We don't review all of that, but we review the requests they have to add to their budget for the coming year. And I assure the people of this county that we are trying to hold our departments very accountable in this process.
Okay.
That's what I've committed to the county, and that's what we're doing.
All right. Let's go back and again, you've just gotten the benefit of quite a background from both of them, but let's touch on it again. Primarily, your background and qualifications that make you a unique candidate. Mark?
I have 35 years experience in governmental accounting, primarily.
Accounting.
Yes.
Okay.
I have been an auditor for the state of Tennessee for approximately 20 years, auditing county governments. Of those 20 years, 17 was spent auditing Coffee County. Of course, we rotate assignments, or they rotated assignments. Then I was the county director of accounts and budgets for approximately 2 years, and there was a change of mayors. Then I spent 5 years at the city of Manchester as the finance director, and then we had a change of administration, and I left at that time.
You've been busy with numbers for quite a few years.
Mr. Corrington, it's been my life and my love since 1984. It kind of combines two things that have always interested me, and that was our government and service to the people and accounting and putting things in order. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Very good. Gary, let's come back to you. What do you feel in your background, aside from your 4-year experience now, that uniquely qualifies you?
I too have some experience in accounting in that I was in budget and finance and cost accounting in Blue Cross for several years, starting out my career after college. And so since then I've had over 35 years of experience in leadership, management, and business experience in bringing leadership to this table. I would mention that right now in county government, we have our budget finance director is she's one of the sharpest individuals in the state as far as other county budget finance directors is concerned. She goes through numbers, she combs through those daily. That's her passion and whatever. And she brings good budgets to the table. And as I said, we're in the process of reviewing all that now. So we have an extremely capable, qualified accountant as our budget and finance director. She's been there, I think, over 10 years, so she's doing a superb job in that. And again, you're welcome to come to some of our Budget and Finance Committee meetings just to see, and I encourage the public to come to see how tight of a ship we're running. And some of the budgets that I've reviewed already, a lot of our departments may have 1 or 1.5% increase going forward in the next year. Actually, in a couple of departments in my area, we've actually got a department too that have a slight decrease next year. So we're on top of our game as it relates to the budget process. I assure our county citizens of that.
Okay.
And I would, if I may make one other comment, Tom, before I forget that. Every year, as Mr. Allen knows, he was there years in doing that, we have the state budgets our records. They audit our records. And 4 years ago, we had, I think, 5 or 6 audits or findings, in the audit process, about 5 or 6 findings. We worked hard to reduce those down to almost perfection. And this year, in our audit this year, we only had 1 finding. And so I was hoping we got through this year, as only a few counties do, with 0 findings. But that's a statement to the accuracy and the process itself in trying to hold our people accountable. And as I said a while ago, we have implemented internal controls in all departments to assure that our budgets are being held in line and the people are abiding by the tasks and responsibilities in their respective jobs.
Okay.
And in that one department, if I may add, the only finding we had was in one department, and part of the reason for that one finding in that department was that the software package that's being used there is not the one that the state recommends. It still does the job, but to buy the software package that the state recommends, that would be right at $140,000. And I'm not asking our taxpayers to pay $140,000 to get a software package that the state recommends. So that was the only finding we had this year.
Mm-hmm. You think the software package you got is enough?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what the state likes, but it works.
All right. Let's see if we can find out where these gentlemen stand on a couple of issues. One of the more significant ones, a very important element in our community, and that's Bonnaroo. And as of now, I think they do not have a contract. Their contract expired last summer, and we've been negotiating for upwards of a year trying to get another. There's a big sticking point. It's still, I guess, as far as I know, the only one. Maybe you have some other information, and that is the Bonnaroo folks want to take a couple of $100,000 of the money that they contribute to the county. They want to go to infrastructure improvements at the site, which they say will allow them to bring in more shows, and so we should be able to get our money back. But what is your feeling about the situation with Bonnaroo and where are we headed? Let's go to you, Gary.
Okay, I would mention that, yes, we have been in a discussion and negotiations with Bonnaroo regarding that. Bonnaroo, to their credit, they have already committed that all the other services they're providing will remain intact as they have been, as far as their payment to the county for law enforcement and fire protection out there on the site. So that's not on the issue.
Right.
The only point on the issue, and that was reviewed extensively in our Budget and Finance Committee meeting, our full commission meeting this Tuesday night. And the commissioners asked me to continue discussions with the Bonnaroo representative to try to work out an agreement on the fee that you're speaking of. Over the years, the people that go there, they've paid a $3 fee going to the county, plus a $30,000 annual fee, and that goes to the county to help, and it goes to the county to help and goes to our operating fund.
Well,
and that's the point of discussion right now, that yes, they do want to develop their infrastructure. So Budget and Finance has reviewed this extensively, so we're still in process.
The issue, as I understand it, is that there's a couple of $100,000 at stake here, which the county has for the last few years put into the general budget.
Yes, sir.
And they have included it in the general budget for this year. Mm-hmm. But that's the money that Bonnaroo would like to see go to infrastructure, which means the county would have to come up with another couple of $100,000.
Yes, sir.
We'll carry on with this issue in a minute, folks, but right now we need to take a short break.
Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has proudly served your auto rental for over 30 years. Check out this huge selection to choose from. Small car, mid-size car, full-size car, crossover vehicle, SUV, minivan, pickup trucks, 12 and 15 passenger vans. Whether big or small, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has them all. Stop by our 2 locations to serve you, Tullahoma and in Winchester. And remember, my question is, why rent anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Kay and Greg Gillum have added another touch of excellence to their furniture business. Now a newly stocked 20,000 square foot Badcock Home Furniture and More location in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Locally owned and operated and offering the same friendly professional service with the best prices on name brand products like their sister store in Winchester, Tennessee has for years. Visit the new Tullahoma location and shop name brand bedroom suites, electronic department with computers, tablets, 4K televisions, and accessories. A large, complete appliance center to fit the style of any household. Beautiful selection of rugs that complement any person's taste. A variety of living room combinations, all in one large showroom. That's right, Badcock Home Furniture and More has added a new location. 373 West Lincoln Street, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Offering special prices year-round. Financing is always available. Speedy delivery to your home or office. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, noon till 5 p.m. Call 931-222-4353.
We were discussing before the break, folks, the contract with Bonnaroo, which we have been in a stalemate on for some time. And Gary says there's another meeting coming up shortly at which they hope to come to some resolution on this. And meanwhile, let's find out what Mark's feelings are on that issue.
On the Bonnaroo contract, I think Bonnaroo should be treated just like any other business of our community with the same rights, privileges, and obligations. If the county needs additional revenue, then the county needs to levy a tax. If Bonnaroo wishes to commit tax incremental financing to a project, that could be worked out. As I've stated before, I like the idea of creation of a tourism development authority to handle such matters and also handle things of all South Central Tennessee. I think we have a lot to offer here besides just Bonnaroo. We just need to promote those things of all that's in our area. That's not just Coffee County, that's all of southern central middle Tennessee.
Well, Bonnaroo seems to be saying that they badly need some additional infrastructure work out there, and that's the issue. It's a question of a couple $100,000 plus that either goes in the county budget or goes to the infrastructure out there, and that's the sticky point. It has been for several months.
Has been for several months. But it's making, right now, it's making for a very unfriendly business environment and shows other companies that want to come here, are they going to hold a threat of a tax over our head and do the same as they've done to Bonnaroo? It's a very bad precedent to set, and we need the growth of new businesses, new ventures coming into our county. It's stagnant right now.
Well, they say with the infrastructure improvements, they could bring more shows in, and we'd get additional revenue out of that.
Correct, so, but what I'm...
Sounds like you're sort of looking at Bonnaroo's side of this issue.
Well, not Bonnaroo's side, but what I have a fear of is other companies and other venues that do come in here look at us like we're going to be, not treat them as any other business of our community.
So we're giving Bonnaroo a little special attention that they're unwelcoming, huh?
Tom, if I may respond to one part of that. Part of the issue on this is that with wanting to redo that road infrastructure, we're waiting from Tennessee Department of Transportation to give us their plans and the projected cost on that. The state has committed up to maybe $4 million in 2 separate grants to fund part of that $6 or so million project. The concern that the Budget and Finance has expressed is this: out of concern for our taxpayers of the county, if we have to float a bond to cover that and let the excess money go in to fund that payment, we want assurances from part of Budget Finance has been saying we need some kind of assurance from Bonnaroo that if something happens, if you leave the scene or whatever, that we're not going to leave that stuck with our taxpayers. I'm concerned about the integrity of any agreement and contract we have and protecting our tax dollars and our taxpayers. So that's part of the concern that hasn't been brought to the table that Budget and Finance has expressed is, what if? Is that going to be dumped on our taxpayers? So we're trying to work through that process. That's part of the discussion.
Any other comment?
Just there's taxes out there that can be levied by the county commission that apply to Bonnaroo, such as the occupancy tax. There's no sense in going through a negotiation with the threat of an amusement tax held over the head of Bonnaroo to force them to donate money to the county.
Okay. Well, with that, folks, you can see there's quite a sizable issue there, and we get a little bit conflicting information about what the problem really is, but it really amounts to whether Bonnaroo, I think, feels they're not quite being treated fairly in relation to all other businesses.
And Tom, we do want to treat all of our businesses fairly.
Sorry?
We do want to treat all of our businesses fairly and have the best business climate we can have in this county.
Okay. All right. Let's try something else. We've recently had the issue coming up about raises for the county commissioners who haven't had one in quite a few years, and also for the county attorney. And I understand that at the last Budget and Finance Committee, they did approve the increase for the commissioners.
Yes,
is that
sir.
right, Gary? And that goes from, what, 100 to 150,
yes,
I
sir.
think. $150 per meeting, plus the committee meetings. Did it go from 35 to 75?
Yes,
that
sir.
was the issue, yeah. Takes, there, it looks like we were a little bit out of sync with the state requirement for the committee meetings. So, but meanwhile, they set aside the attorney's request. Hasn't been acted on.
That is correct.
Plus or minus. Yeah. Okay. All right. Did you have any comment about any of that?
I will. No doubt that the service that our county commissioners are giving is of great value to the citizens of this county. And they need to be compensated for that. However, county employees, the regular county employees, are not paid a livable wage. We have to address that first. When that gets addressed, then this issue of compensation for our board members and the administrative type staff needs to be addressed too. But our first priority has to be to bring the county employees up to a livable wage. We have deputies out there that do some awesome work. And in fact, I'm just ashamed that we're paying them so low that they're eligible for their own Christmas presents that they give away at Christmas. I'm ashamed as a taxpayer that is the way we treat our public servants.
That sounds like that's going to be another issue for raising a little money somewhere. So unfortunately, we won't have time to get into that. But I did hope that we could get into the question of closing the county annex, the annex for the jail where the working prisoners are held, but we're not going to have time to take up that issue. So,
excuse me, Tom, may I comment just briefly on what he said regarding the compensation for our employees? I did put on the table at the end of the last budget year about having an across-the-board 2% increase for county employees. That's already been put on, and that was not approved, and I told the commission that will come back on the table, and it's already been mentioned to them. But we're trying to, again, be fair to all of our county employees, and I've requested a 3% across-the-board living adjustment be granted for all people. We're talking on the one hand,
starting next year?
Starting July 1.
Yeah.
That's on discussion for now.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. That'll be interesting. That's another money issue. Looks like budget and finance still has a little work to do.
Yes, sir.
So with that, folks, I want to thank both of you for taking time to join us. And thank you, folks, for, we need to take a short commercial break and then we'll wind up.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck. Chevy, Ford, and Ram, man. Russell's got your truck. With the best selection anywhere. Russell's got your truck.
Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and man, do we ever have your truck. 4 brands, hundreds to choose from, all at year-end discounted prices. So with so much to choose from, my question is, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
Russell's got your truck, man.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We've been talking today, folks, with the 2 Republican candidates for the county mayor. Mark Allen, who is challenging Gary Cordell, who is the current mayor and is running for re-election. So again, we're in the middle of a busy election season. The election is May the 1st. All the county offices, the ballot is a whopping one, so you need to be patient and try to look at it before you get to the poll. And early voting has already started, so if you want to at the county plaza or at CD stamps, it's available for you, and you may want to take advantage of that, especially given the size of the ballot. So again, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to join us, and now the folks, the decision is up to you. So again, I want to thank you for inviting us into your parlor, and we will see you next time.